What's good, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. Like, share, subscribe, comment. I just hit top bottom of the video, and we're just gonna hop right into it. So today we will be talking about Young Thug and his recent snitching allegations. So obviously, we know what's transpired in the last 2-3 years, basically, with the YSL trial and how they had a couple, supposed snitches. A lot of people, were talking about Gunna, Woody, YSL Mundo. So it was a couple, people that, tried to associate with telling in the YSL thing. But that's not, exactly what we're here to talk about today. We're here to talk about Young Thug and an audio recording that has been released and a couple more things. But really, it started with the audio recording. And, it's a 2-hour-long interrogation. Now, it's from 2015. Now, I would say I watched it, so you didn't have to. It wasn't, a lot of, it wasn't like the whole 2 hours just had shit like goddamn. But it was a couple points in there that went viral. And that's what we're really here to talk about today. So, this is a interrogation basically from one, I think Thug had got arrested for terroristic threats, but they decided to ask him about the 2015 shooting of Lil Wayne's tour bus. Now, obviously, at the time, we had knew that, basically that Lil Wayne didn't like Young Thug. So a lot of people assumed that this was a direct retaliation from Young Thug. But we come to find out that it was a lot more to it. So basically, he details. Okay. So the first point of emphasis that, basically people were like, okay, it's getting a little wacky from Young Thug is when they decide, when he admitted that they sold drugs to Wayne. Well, he said Pee Wee Roscoe sold drugs to Wayne before.
They these niggas definitely like brothers more than Birdman Wayne.
They doing what now, brother?
I said them niggas was damn near more brothers than Bird and Wayne.
Oh, Roscoe and Lil Wayne were more
than.
than.
This nigga used to bring Wayne his drugs.
Now, he admitted to this on Twitter. I didn't think it was that crazy because if we're talking about a case where you said a nigga shot him, him bringing a nigga some drugs is, very down the list. Even though you don't want to admit that your man's did anything, that's not as wild. Now, where shit got wild, especially as to me, is as soon as they asked him kind of about they asked him about Pee Wee Roscoe, he then brings up Lil Wayne.
Just the whole history of what's going on. I'm sure you know what happened in Cobb County, right, with Pee Wee and all that crap.
Oh, Roscoe.
Yeah, Roscoe.
Oh yeah, with the Lil Wayne shit.
Yeah.
For you to, be in an interrogation room and they bring up one thing and you automatically go to another thing, that looks crazy, in my personal opinion, because that obviously, them things have some type of correlation in your head for you to bring it up. And what is that correlation? Now, where things get even more wackier for Young Thug is when he basically says he basically was like, yeah, Pee Wee shot up the bus.
I said, what the fuck? That was so weird. This nigga fucking damn shot at this nigga tour bus. Honestly, I don't know who the fuck did it. They said Roscoe, but I ain't finna. What the fuck is this, man? Block out y'all case by saying Roscoe didn't do that. I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
This idiot did it, this idiot paying for it. If the idiot didn't do it, he's gonna be fucking home.
Yeah.
But just knowing Roscoe, man, that man a fucking scrub. That fool. I'm like, you shot at somebody, bro? But I don't fucking know, cause every day nigga broke a fucking ball. I don't know. I honestly don't know. When that nigga Tuba got shot at, I was in New Orleans.
It was a couple sentences after I said they brought him up and he brought up the Lil Wayne. He was just like, they said Pee Wee shot that bitch up. You can't say no shit. you can't say no shit like that. Yeah, so he basically he talks about his alibi that he was in New Orleans and obviously this took place in Atlanta and things of this sort. The fact that he even said it like that, it's not a good look, though. I'm gonna be honest. It's not a good look because basically you're not even, I keep trying to say basically, it just sounds like you're telling. let me say, telling them exactly what happened. Now, obviously that was really the most, this snitching point. Now this, obviously sent the internet in uproar. Definitely got Rollo talking. Rollo talking. Rollo the fam gun, if y'all don't know which Rollo I'm talking about. But obviously, they've been talking about Rollo for years, and him apparently being a snitch. So him and Thug, they were already, beefing before, but like way in the past. But they got in a war of words on X, and this led to some paperwork and some things being dropped. So basically, it was another case that they brought up with the paperwork, and Thug saying that Thug gave up some information on the murder when he was real young, and Thug basically dropped the paperwork that that the detective lied about Thug doing it and the age and how young Thug was at the time. So he basically got cleared of that. Now, that was really as far shit going as the snitching allegation. Now, obviously, we here now, so it's probably time for my, personal opinion. I will say, in the way that he did it, I would say Thug, I don't know. It's hard. It's hard to gauge because it's on one side, it's like, damn, yeah, it does sound like he's straight up snitching. But on the other side, it does sound like this may have been already previously known information. But the only thing about, it being previously known information is Thug, basically was trying to spin it on X that he was trying to get his mans off and he was lying and things of that sort. But this is something that Pee Wee Roscoe directly got, arrested for. And and listening to Thug, I don't understand where he was saying he was spinning it at. Like, where was he getting the police off of Pee Wee's ass? When I'm listening to it, nothing there sounds like that. So yeah, I'm gonna have to go with the bad answer that Thug was out here snitching. But on top of that, I do, want some added points to this. I will say this ain't got nothing to do with snitching. I will say it was very nice to get some clarity between him and Lil Wayne's relationship, as well as what transpired between Wayne and Birdman to cause bad blood. If you didn't know, basically he was just saying that, like, that whole Thug, like, okay, obviously we knew Wayne didn't like Thug. We all knew that, but we also already really thought that it was out of him being a fan for Wayne and Wayne seeing, some greatness and a successor or something like that. But really what it sounded like, especially from Thug's perspective, is that Wayne had his beef with Birdman that we already knew about. And because Birdman was fucking with Thug so heavy, by association, he wasn't fucking with Thug. Which makes a lot more sense to me. And then he said, basically, we talked about how Wayne came out and he found out Thug was a fan and all that, he needed to chill up off of him. But he was just basically saying that it was more of the fact that Birdman was fucking with Thug and, by association. And it was on the business side of things, obviously, like, because he talked about it as well, how we never really understood what exactly went on the business side of things between Wayne and Birdman that made shit so bad. But he basically explained how, obviously we knew that Wayne was, missing some type of money, but how? And so basically, and I found this out, just listening to Thug, about basically a lot of artist deals go, if they sign you, for a certain amount, say they sign, well, I think we'll just use the Wayne shit, with $100 million. So they give you a certain amount up front. Thug says usually about half, but apparently Baby gave Wayne $70 million up front in that contract deal. Now, that means he has to repay the remaining 30, each time Wayne drops an album. So that's what basically they were saying. Wayne wasn't getting paid each time he dropped the album of that remaining 30. And basically Bird was saying that he did give him that remaining 30 when he basically put some money into Drake and Nicki Minaj and Young Money. But Wayne was like, nigga, that really ain't got shit to do with me, because that's, it's my career and that's their career, which I agree with Wayne on that side. That 30 million don't got nothing to do with that. 30 million you gave for Wayne and Nicki, I mean for Drake and Nicki, don't got nothing to do with me, because that's not their music. That's not my music. So I understood that. But it was just nice to get some clarity that, all these years later. But wild situation. Definitely wild for, Young Thug to be in this predicament after, these past couple of years and the gun and shit, and him going so hard on rats. But yeah, it ain't looking good at this moment in time. But that's all I gotta say though. Like, share, subscribe, comment. I do TikTok bottom view, and we out.